Holidays feel different when you're finally profitable. Not louder, not flashier, not more exciting. Quieter. That's the part most people don't expect. Before profitability, time off doesn't actually feel like time off. You might be physically away, but mentally you're still trading. Charts are still running in the background of your mind. Numbers still matter. Pressure still follows you. You're not resting. You're pausing with anxiety. Most traders don't realize this until the contrast hits them. You go on vacation, but you're checking your phone. You're sitting at dinner, but you're thinking about missed setups. You're supposed to be relaxing, but there's a low-level urgency humming under everything. That urgency ruins the moment. This topic matters because a lot of traders think they want freedom, when what they really want is quiet. Before trading works, holidays come with guilt. Guilt for not studying. Guilt for not improving. Guilt for stepping away when things aren't stable yet. You tell yourself you should be enjoying it, but part of you feels irresponsible, as if relaxing is something you haven't earned yet. Most traders know that feeling. You wake up on a trip and the first thought isn't gratitude, it's, I should probably check the charts. Not because you love trading, but because you're afraid of falling behind. That's not ambition. That's pressure. And pressure doesn't take vacations. When trading isn't profitable, time off feels like borrowed time. You're always aware that you'll have to pay for it later. More grind, more catching up, more fixing. So even good moments feel fragile. You're there, but not fully there. You might smile, but your nervous system doesn't relax. Now contrast that with profitability. Not a massive account. Not perfection, just consistency, stability, the sense that things are under control. Suddenly, holidays don't feel like escape. They feel like permission. You don't check charts because you don't need to. You don't rush back because nothing is on fire. You're not calculating how many days you can afford to take off. The background noise is gone. And when that noise disappears, presence becomes possible. Most traders underestimate how much mental bandwidth trading consumes when it isn't working. Even when you're not actively trading, your brain is constantly managing uncertainty. Is this sustainable? What if next month is worse? That loop never shuts off. I remember a period where I technically took time off, but I was more exhausted afterward than before. I wasn't trading, but I was still carrying the weight of unresolved pressure. That's when it clicked. Rest doesn't work when your mind doesn't feel safe. Profitable trading doesn't make life exciting. It makes life stable. And stability changes how you experience everything. Another angle most people don't talk about is how holidays expose where you really are mentally. If trading isn't working, time off magnifies the discomfort. There's no distraction, no momentum, just you and the questions you've been avoiding. That's why some traders actually feel worse on vacation. They finally slow down enough to notice how much stress they've been carrying. They realize they're tired, not from work, but from uncertainty. When trading becomes profitable, that tension dissolves. You're not constantly asking, what if? You're not mentally rehearsing worst-case scenarios. You're not living in the future trying to fix something. You're just present. Comment if you've ever gone on a trip but felt like you never really left. That experience is more common than people admit. Another shift happens with identity. When trading isn't working, holidays feel like a break from the problem. When trading is working, holidays feel like part of your life, not a pause from it. You're not escaping your reality. You're stepping away from something that already feels under control. That difference matters. Most struggling traders see time off as dangerous, as if stepping away will cost them progress. Profitable traders see time off as neutral. Nothing improves, nothing deteriorates. The system keeps functioning. That's freedom. And it doesn't come from money alone. It comes from trust. Trust in your process, trust in your risk control, trust that you don't have to be constantly involved. Before that trust exists, holidays feel tense. After it exists, holidays feel normal. Another perspective. Think about how you sleep on vacation. When trading isn't stable, sleep is lighter. You wake up early. Thoughts creep in. You replay trades or imagine future ones. When trading is stable, sleep deepens. Your nervous system isn't bracing for impact. You're not subconsciously preparing to fix anything. That's when rest actually restores you. Most people think profitability changes what you can buy. In reality, it changes how your body feels when nothing is demanded of you. Subscribe if this resonates. This channel is about the internal shifts trading creates, not the surface-level lifestyle stuff. You'll notice profitable traders don't talk much about vacations, not because they don't enjoy them, but because they don't need them to cope. Vacations stop being medicine, they become experiences. When trading isn't working, you're using holidays to recover from stress. When trading is working, you're using them to enjoy life. That's a massive difference. Before profitability, holidays are a reminder of what you don't have yet. After profitability, holidays are just time. And time feels different when it isn't weighed down by urgency. That's the foundation of this entire topic. Sit with this question. When was the last time you were somewhere beautiful and actually felt calm? That answer tells you more than any P&L statement ever will. When trading isn't profitable, stress doesn't stay where it belongs. It leaks into weekends, into conversations, into moments that are supposed to feel light. You might be away from your desk, but you're not away from the pressure. You're carrying an invisible checklist in your head. How long can I afford to relax? What happens when I get back? Am I falling behind right now? Most traders don't consciously think these thoughts. They just feel restless. You notice it when you can't sit still, when you keep checking your phone, when you feel slightly irritated for no clear reason, when quiet moments make you uncomfortable. That discomfort isn't boredom, it's unresolved pressure. Before profitability, trading creates an open loop in your mind. There's no closure, no stability, just ongoing uncertainty. Holidays don't close that loop, they expose it. You see this most clearly in how traders talk on vacation. They say things like, I'll really enjoy this once things are consistent. Or, I just need to relax for a few days, then get back to work. Rest becomes conditional. That's not rest, that's postponement. Like the video. This matters because a lot of traders think stress comes from working too much, when it actually comes from not trusting the system they're inside. Another angle people don't expect is how profitability changes your sense of time. When trading isn't working, time feels scarce. Every day off feels expensive. You're constantly calculating opportunity cost. If I'm not trading, I'm losing ground. That mindset makes holidays feel rushed. You're there, but you're counting the days. Even good moments feel like they're slipping away too fast because you're already thinking about what comes next. Once trading becomes profitable, time loosens. Not because you have endless money, but because urgency disappears. There's no countdown. No sense that you're racing against failure. You stop measuring time by what you're missing. That's when holidays slow down. A lot of traders notice this first in small ways. They stop checking the time as often. They stop feeling that low-level pressure to be productive. They stop feeling guilty for enjoying themselves. Those are signs your nervous system finally trusts that things are okay. Most people underestimate how much of trading stress is physical, not mental. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, restlessness, trouble sleeping. That's your body staying alert because it doesn't feel safe yet. Profitability doesn't magically remove problems, but it tells your body something important. You're not in survival mode anymore. That message changes everything. Consider this from another point of view. Most traders think holidays are supposed to recharge them so they can trade better afterward. In reality, when trading isn't stable, holidays just delay the stress. You come back and immediately feel the weight again, and that's why some traders dread returning more than they enjoy leaving. When trading is stable, returning doesn't feel heavy. You're not bracing for impact. You're just resuming a routine that already works. That's the difference between escape and balance. Comment if you've ever felt that subtle dread the night before a trip ends. That feeling says more about your trading than your vacation. Another overlooked shift is how profitable traders experience silence. When trading isn't working, silence is loud. Your mind fills it with questions. What if this never works? What if I'm wasting my time? What if I should be doing more? On holiday, silence is unavoidable. There's no chart noise to distract you, no activity to hide behind. That's why some traders stay busy even while relaxing. They're avoiding their own thoughts. When trading becomes profitable, silence feels different. It feels neutral, sometimes even calming. There's nothing urgent demanding your attention. That's mental freedom. Most traders think freedom means doing whatever you want. In reality, freedom is not needing to do anything to feel okay. Profitability gives you that. Another example most traders recognize but rarely talk about is how they interact with other people on vacation. When trading isn't working, you're distracted, half listening, half present. Your mind keeps drifting back to unresolved pressure. You might nod and smile, but you're not fully engaged. Once trading stabilizes, conversations deepen. You're actually there. You notice details. You respond instead of reacting. That's not personality change. That's stress leaving the system. Subscribe. This channel focuses on what trading changes internally, not just what it changes on paper. One more perspective. Holidays highlight contrast. They don't create peace. They reveal whether peace exists. If trading is unstable, the contrast feels sharp. You're temporarily away from stress, but you know it's waiting. That knowledge keeps your guard up. If trading is stable, there's no contrast. Life feels continuous. A holiday is just a different setting, not a different mental state. That continuity is what most traders are really chasing. In the next section, we'll talk about why profitability changes your relationship with money itself, and how that shift affects enjoyment, presence, and pressure in ways most people misunderstand. For now, pay attention to this. If you've ever come back from a trip feeling like you need a break from your break, that wasn't the trip's fault. That was unresolved stress following you there. Another reason holidays feel different when you're profitable has nothing to do with travel itself. It has to do with how money stops occupying the front of your mind. When trading isn't working, money is loud. Every decision runs through it. Every plan is filtered by it. Even moments that should feel simple carry a background calculation. How much is this costing me? How long can I afford this? What if something goes wrong while I'm away? That noise never fully shuts off. Most traders don't realize how often they think about money until they finally stop needing to. Profitability doesn't mean you stop caring about money. It means money stops demanding attention. That difference is everything. You see it when you order food without second guessing. You see it when you book something without mental math. You see it when small expenses don't trigger internal tension. Those moments add up. Before profitability, money decisions feel loaded. After profitability, they feel neutral. And neutrality creates ease, like the video. This matters because people underestimate how much mental energy scarcity consumes. Another shift happens around control. When trading isn't profitable, you feel like you have to be vigilant, watching, monitoring, managing. You believe that if you look away, something bad might happen. That belief follows you everywhere, and on holiday, it shows up as checking accounts just to be safe. It shows up as refreshing apps. It shows up as scanning even when nothing is wrong. That behavior isn't responsibility, it's anxiety. Once trading is profitable, control changes form. You don't feel the need to monitor constantly because you trust your risk. You trust your exposure. You trust that nothing requires immediate intervention. That trust allows you to let go. And letting go is the entire point of a holiday. Another perspective worth mentioning is how profitable traders experience anticipation. Before profitability, anticipation is stressful. You're always anticipating problems, drawdowns, missed opportunities, mistakes you haven't made yet. On holiday, that anticipation doesn't stop. You're waiting for the moment you'll have to deal with reality again. After profitability, anticipation becomes lighter. You're not bracing for impact. You're simply aware that life continues. That difference changes how you experience time away. Most traders think profitability will make them happier. That's not quite right. Profitability makes them calmer. Calm allows enjoyment. Stress blocks it. Another example that comes up often is how traders respond to unexpected moments on holiday. Delays, changes, missed plans. When trading isn't working, those moments feel amplified. You're already mentally taxed, so small disruptions feel heavier than they should. When trading is stable, those same moments barely register. You adapt without irritation. You move on. That's emotional bandwidth at work. Most people don't realize how thin their bandwidth is until it expands. Profitability expands it. Before profitability, holidays feel like a pause button. Life on hold. Progress suspended. Everything waiting. After profitability, holidays feel integrated. You're not stopping your life. You're living it in a different setting. That integration is subtle but powerful. It's the difference between escaping and choosing. Most struggling traders are escaping when they travel. Profitable traders are choosing. That's why the experience feels different, even if the destination is the same. Comment if this is starting to connect dots for you. Recognizing these patterns is often the first time traders realize what they've actually been chasing. Another thing that changes is how you return. Before profitability, coming back feels heavy. There's a sense of dread, a mental load waiting to be picked up again. After profitability, returning feels neutral. You don't need to brace yourself. You don't need to mentally prepare for damage control. You just resume. That lack of dread is one of the clearest signals that things are working. Most traders think success will announce itself loudly. In reality, it shows up quietly in moments like this. You enjoy something fully, and you sleep deeply, you stop checking, and you don't even realize how abnormal that used to feel. One more observation. Holidays reveal whether your trading is supporting your life or consuming it. If time away makes you anxious, something isn't aligned yet. If time away feels natural, alignment is already there. That's not about discipline. It's not about hustle. It's about stability. Subscribe. This channel is about recognizing these quiet signals of progress most traders overlook. If the idea of fully disconnecting feels uncomfortable, that discomfort isn't about vacation. It's about trust. And trust only comes from consistency. What most traders misunderstand is that holidays don't feel better because you finally made it. They feel better because something fundamental has changed underneath everything else. Pressure is gone. Not excitement, not ambition. Pressure. Before profitability, pressure sits quietly behind every decision. Even good moments are slightly tense because you know something unresolved is waiting for you. You're enjoying yourself, but part of you is bracing for impact. That's why people say things like, I couldn't fully relax. That's not personality, that's instability. Once trading becomes profitable, even at a modest level, that pressure lifts. Not because you're rich, but because the system is no longer threatening you. Your downside is controlled, your process is repeatable, and your exposure is understood. That changes how your nervous system behaves. Most people think peace comes from having more. In trading, peace comes from knowing less can go wrong. That's the quiet reward nobody markets. Another important shift is how you stop measuring everything. Before profitability, you're constantly evaluating. Is this worth it? Is this enough? Is this a waste of time? Am I behind? On holiday, that mental measuring doesn't stop. You're subconsciously tallying costs, time, missed opportunity. After profitability, measuring fades. You don't need to justify the trip. You don't need to make it worth it. You don't need to squeeze value out of every moment. You're not trying to extract something. You're just experiencing it. That's presence. Most traders don't realize how transactional their thinking becomes when they're under pressure. Even joy gets evaluated. Profitability removes the need to audit your own life. Another thing that changes is how you see work itself. Before profitability, holidays are a break from stress. After profitability, they're just a change of rhythm. You don't need to escape your routine because your routine isn't harming you. That's a huge difference, and it's why profitable traders don't romanticize vacations the way struggling traders do. Not because they don't enjoy them, but because they don't need them as relief. Relief is no longer the goal, balance is. Like the video. This matters because too many traders think they're chasing money, when they're really chasing the ability to be present without guilt. Another truth worth saying clearly, if you can't enjoy time away now, more money won't magically fix that unless the money comes with stability. Volatility-funded income still creates pressure. Erratic results still follow you everywhere. Consistency is what changes your experience of life. That's why this isn't a motivation video, it's a calibration. If holidays feel heavy, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means your system isn't settled yet. And that's okay. Most people never get honest about that. They distract themselves, they pretend, they scroll, they stay busy. But the moment you admit it, you know exactly what to work on. Not bigger wins, not faster results. Stability. That's the real milestone. Share this video with someone who thinks freedom starts with lifestyle changes. It doesn't. It starts with removing pressure. And subscribe if you want more conversations like this. This channel isn't about selling a dream, it's about explaining why the dream feels empty until the foundation is right. I'll leave you with this. Holidays don't feel better because you're finally profitable. They feel better because your mind is no longer running damage control in the background. That's when trading stops following you everywhere you go. That quiet is the reward. And once you experience it, you stop chasing noise and start protecting stability.